What's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Full Circle. I'm your host, as always, Harmon Jr. Please feel free to find me at Harmon Jr. on all your favorite social media, because I am not banned on any of them. I'm sorry, people. Just jokes. It's a new year, new show, season 4, and it's already Zach. It hasn't been a full 2 weeks in the year yet, but it has been a crazy ride. 2021 is really riding the energy of 2020, not giving up. But people, got an exciting show today, and we got a new face to the show. You might know him, might love him, might hate him because he's got the hottest of takes. But I got the movie film buff, the video game manic, Zak Wojnar joining us for the first time. Ooh, everybody clap. How are you doing today, sir?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Just rocking and rolling, living that East Coast New York City life as best I can during the coronavirus pandemic. It's a mess. Definitely picked the wrong week to get like the shortest haircut I've had in my life. Honestly, it's never been this short before. If you're a video watcher, you get to see, oh my God, his hair is so short, but still like beautiful.
I don't know how New York that is of you. Is that how y'all said New York?
Yeah,
am I doing that right?
Coffee. We do coffee or something. I don't know. I don't think I have the accent. I get the accent when like someone's starting trouble on the train.
It comes out.
Trouble on the train. I'm like, hey, you want to put that mask up? Yeah, over your nose.
As someone from Houston, when I learned some New Yorkers say Houston, I was like, what is that? What is
Houston Street, Lower East Side? Boom.
I was like, what is a Houston? What is this you speak of, sir? Well, Zak, for those who may not know you, who are you exactly, and what do you do?
Well, I'm just a person who protects children and other living things, baby. No, I'm a writer. I'm a video game guy. I'm an interviewer. I don't know. I don't think I have an official title or anything at my main stomping grounds, screenrant.com. But I haven't written any features there in a little while. I got to get back on that. But I've been doing some other stuff in the print magazine sphere that's not necessarily video game related. So I'm not gonna bring it up. But yeah, I do a lot of interviews at Screen Rant. If you've ever looked at the Screen Rant, interviews tab, you'll find my work there somewhere. I recently did a whole bunch of interviews for the movie Skylines, which is this amazing little like sci-fi action adventure movie that started out in like 2010 as this low budget sci-fi movie, and then all of a sudden they're like, let's, instead of making it like a sci-fi horror movie, let's just go full action. And they made Beyond Skyline and had like the actors from The Raid and Frank Grillo, they were in it, and they was crazy awesome, and everyone loved it. And then part 3, which just came out this past year on VOD and as many theaters as they could put it in, which wasn't many. But it goes full like 1980s canon adventure. Like if you know the work of Canon Films, they were like a mid-range action studio in like the 80s. And this is like a throwback to a bygone era. And I got to talk to people like Alexander Siddig and James Cosmo, 2 Game of Thrones vets by chance.
Oop, oop.
And the director, Liam O'Donnell. And basically that's what I do at Screen Rant. I get to talk to artists and directors and actors and ask them, of course, about their movie, but also about, what makes them tick. What do they like to do? What's their approach to their craft? All that fun stuff,
Yep. That does sound fun and fancy. That was quite the resume. Well, I think I brought the right guy along for this show because we are going to be talking about customizable PS5s and why the world doesn't want to let us have them. But before that, we're going to be talking about, you guessed it, video game movies. Yes, people. Who else better to talk video game movies than a video game and movie critic? Just saying.
Oh yeah. We're gonna get into Hitman Agent 47 and why that was the best press junket I've ever gone to.
Oh my. But people, you got to wait a little bit before that, because before all that nonsense, we got to talk about our boy Nintendo, or girl, or it, whatever pronoun Nintendo should have in your mind. We're going to talk about them. Because, but before we talk about Nintendo, there's a really cool book coming out in April this year called Axe Iwata. It was, it's based off the Axe Iwata series. It's great by the late, great Nintendo president. It's always existed, but this will be the first English release, so that's exciting. I'm very much looking forward to going through it, because I got my pre-order, which is on sale now, so people go get their pre-order. Last time I checked, there's still plenty, so it's not like getting the PS5. You can go right now and get it, maybe right now, maybe later. It shouldn't be hard to acquire.
After the show.
Yeah, after the show. Don't do it now. But yeah, you can get that book, and that's cool, because one of the things, honestly, this is not a joke in poor taste. Like, if Iwata was still here, God rest his soul, like, I would be like, Iwata, what is your plans for Nintendo 2021? Because nobody knows, and nobody's talking at all.
He wouldn't tell you.
I mean, he would.
He'd like wink and go, "You'll just have to wait and find out, baby."
But you know what? He would give me some great developer knowledge about not knowing and what they are doing. It will still be a great lesson, because I swear, like, I have no. Let me. As of right now in my life, my goal is not to be a game developer. Maybe later in life, wherever my paths take me, I may end up in development. But he always gave answers that even I, with my limited knowledge of game development, was like, oh, that's insightful. And then people who actually develop games would be like, oh man, he's giving away gold. He should charge for this. I guess they are now in the book. But
I mean, he's the guy who like put the whole landmass pretty much of Pokemon Red and Blue into Gold and Silver, right? That's like, and that's not even his claim to fame. Like, of all of the things that he has done, that he had done in his career, that's one that probably, that so many people have benefited from, that like put that game, in the upper echelons of Pokemon. Like, Gold and Silver is so beloved in large part because once you beat the game, you're like, whoa, there's so much more to do. It's like the original Pokemon post game. Iwata made it.
Don't get me started. I've already talked about what Pokemon should do going forward extensively, but I pretty much told everyone Gen 9 is going to be judged harshly. Like, it's going to be under a microscope in my mind. I'm forgiving of Sword and Shield 1 because it was better than Sun and Moon. Fight me, internet, fight me. It was. No one talked crap about Sun and Moon, but that game was kind of garbage. Anyway. So, and it was the half step. They were seeing what they can do in the full 3D space. So I can forgive it, on some shortcomings. I don't think it's a perfect game. If I had to rate it, it's probably like an 8, which is not bad. 8 is great. But
you've just been doxxed.
I see. So, well, thank you, internet. You have spoken. I will continue to talk about Nintendo 2021. So, Zach, me and you were talking, before the show that people are always so quick to, count Nintendo out. People are quick to forget that was the era around the Wii U time. It's kind of gonna happen on and off that people are like, Nintendo needs to hang it up, become a third-party developer, give their awesome games to, Sony, Microsoft, what have you. And I think it's interesting. The immediate thing to happen after all of that is extreme success. So, you had the GameCube, which was a great system, honestly. But, compared to its partners at the time, maybe wasn't doing as best as people thought they should. Then it came the Wii, and then, blew everything out the water. Then the Wii U came, and those talks came in, and here comes the Switch, and then
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think we've seen Nintendo at their best when they've not run the same race. Like, the N64, say what you will about it, but it was not running the same race as the PlayStation and the Dreamcast.
Oh, not
and the Saturn, whatever you want to, and Sega's its own thing. Like, I think, people compare Sega and Nintendo in that way, and it's like there's no comparison. Sega, for as great as they are, they didn't hit those home runs that they needed, with the Saturn and with like the 32X and the Sega CD and all that. And then the Dreamcast, and they were like, oh, we've we have enough strikes or enough outs that we've got to cash out. Nintendo has failed. Like, you could say if you want the Nintendo 64 was a failure, and you could say if you want that the GameCube was a failure, but you know, when they win big. Like, look at how many units the Wii sold. That's insane. Look at how many units the Switch is selling now. It's insane. And that's not even getting into Game Boy Color, Game Boy Pre-Color, and the
Game Boy
DS.
Pre-Color, like that. I like that.
And like DS and 3DS, like those were so insanely successful that Nintendo could you know, do a project where they're like, we're going to make a fire so big you can see it from space, and we're going to make that fire with money, and they'd still have money to burn. You know what I mean? So like, Wii U, yeah, was the Wii U a huge failure? Yeah. Was it like damaging to Nintendo to the point where Satoru Iwata had to take a pay cut? Yeah. But was it damaging to them to the point where they weren't sure if they were going to be able to cash the checks that they were writing? No. They had money in the bank.
Oh man, completely. I mean, I guess this goes without saying, but what other video game company outside of Nintendo is willing to risk failure?
You know, I part of me wants to say that maybe Sony, with risks like the you know, they took a chance on the PSP, and you know, it did not dethrone Nintendo, but it did succeed in its own terms. But then immediately after that, the PlayStation Vita, a system which I, you know, will champion until the cows come home, even though Borderlands 2 is completely unplayable on it, just so. You know, that did not succeed. You know, that actually sold about as many units as the Wii U, like 12 or 13 million, which is insanely low. But even then, like, that was not supposed to be a fail, you know, that was not supposed to be a risk. It was supposed to be the next evolution of the PSP. It was supposed to do that iterative console cycle, but with handhelds. And that's not really what Nintendo did. Like with the game, you know, they did it with the Game Boy Advance, was like an iteration on the Nintendo, on the Game Boy, but it didn't, you know, and it was very successful, but not successful the way the Game Boy was. And so that's why they were like, let's do something out of left field. Let's be innovative. Let's be creators. Let's be Imagineers. That's when Nintendo is at their best, when they're Imagineers with, you know, sometimes it's little things like the Nintendo 64 having 4 controller ports. Sometimes it's big things like the Nintendo 64 having a weird ass funky controller. Like
don't forget
what
the Rumble.
other system? Well, yeah, that too.
That changed gaming more than anything, really, if you think about it.
Sure, yeah, because then right after, you know, Sony released their DualShock, and that was like, no one went back. If you after that you release a system without Rumble, you were a laughingstock. Like, so as Sony discovered with the PS3, which like people forget now, didn't launch with Rumble.
It did not.
Insane.
It was super lightweight. I remember thinking, like, is there anything in this controller?
Mm-hmm. And I personally like that. I like that it's a light controller, but the old 6-axis. But as soon as you get Rumble back, you're like, all right. Although I do put my controller down during cutscenes, so every once in a while it like falls off the table, and I'm, come on, I gotta go get that. But yeah, Nintendo have always been innovators, you know, and sometimes it works out, like with the Wii and with the Switch. Sometimes it doesn't work out, like with the Virtual Boy and the Wii U. But like, they're always, you know, looking not to iterate on what they've already done, but how they can not compete. They compete by not competing. They compete by running a different race. They're like, you're running? Well, we're going to do the long jump. You're swimming? We're going to do hurdles. You know? Yeah. They're just like, we don't want to play the game that you're playing. We're going to play our own game. And you know, it works.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy when you think about it, because like with the Switch and with other systems before it, people were just like, hey, Nintendo, if you just do this, it'll print money. Like, if you just give us the library of old games and just put literally every game that's ever existed on the Switch, despite it being 5, 10, 20 years old, we'll play it. We'll lose our minds and play it and praise you to the end of time. And I respect them, because Nintendo's still just like, we're not gonna do that. Like, I mean, we're in it for the money, clearly, like, they're a business at the end of the day, but from a creative standpoint, we're not in it for the money. We're in it to push gaming. And I always respect that because people always forget, like, how you were saying that what Nintendo does, the industry follows. Like, Nintendo has done things now, like you said with the Rumble, you will be a laughing stock to not do that. And the Switch, it didn't push any graphical barriers. It didn't, yes and no on a technological level of what you could do. Because it wasn't like any new innovating technology, quote unquote. It was all stuff that was very much capable of the time. And so I'm just wondering, since 20, it's a weird thing because we don't know, honestly. Was 2020 a low year for Nintendo because of COVID, or is 2020 always supposed to play out like that for Nintendo? With very new, very basically what from a collective 12 months, virtually no new software, no new type of hardware updates. I mean, outside of Pokemon and Smash DLC, we got Hyrule Warriors, and there might be a game I'm forgetting, but that's how little it
You're
is.
forgetting a big one. Like there are companies out there who wish that they had a year
Animal
where
Crossing,
they only released Animal Crossing, and Hyrule Warriors, and Super Mario 3D Collection, 3D All Stars.
But we didn't get that. We're not getting that until this year, right? It better be this year.
Yeah, I mean,
you're talking about the 3D All Stars. I thought you were talking about the All-Stars. I thought you were talking about the 3D World that's coming out this year.
Oh, that. Well, yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, but that's gonna sell like hotcakes as well.
Yeah, and it's so funny, talking about Nintendo's innovation. It's like it's almost like a bunt. They did a bunt with the innovation on this, in that it doesn't seem like the most difficult innovation in the entire world, but as soon as it's applied, it's magic. It's just you're playing a video game on your TV. Then you're like, oh no, I gotta go to work, gotta jump on the train. You're playing that exact same video game on the train.
It's little things that you never realize. For example, I was doing a max raid battle in Pokemon online, and my power went out, and I was like, dear God, oh God. And then there's this, since the power went out, it was nighttime. There's this glowing square in the corner of my living room. And I'm like, holy cow. It didn't just stop. It just switched to handheld mode because it's receiving no power from the dock.
Yeah, so that glowing little circle, that glowing little light, it's the glowing light of hope.
And I pick it up.
Future.
And there I am, still in the battle. I just keep going.
Beautiful.
Zach, it was
that
such
Nintendo magic.
It was almost like God had revealed something to me. Like he was like, my son, this is me. Look at my power. And I was just like, I can keep gaming until the power comes on. And that wasn't, like you said, it's not revolutionary. That's not like, it was just like, but the impact, I was just like, damn. So what is it to
that particular example is something that I've never thought of about the Switch, but we've all been playing video games when the power went out. Even if it's not a power outage, or like, someone's running too many ACs in the house, the fuse box switches, or even, someone trips over a power cord, we've all been playing and lost power somehow, some way. It's not a thing on Switch.
It's not.
It's not a problem. And so many of the games, I commute to work every day, ride the subway for about an hour and a half, and I look forward to it because I'm playing Borderlands on Switch. I'm playing Resident Evil 4 on Switch. I'm playing games that I've already played a million times, but I'm playing them in a brand new way. And it's like a little thing that makes a huge, huge difference, and it just completely changes the way you play video games.
Completely so. I'm gonna ask you and Grogu there. Sorry, Grogu, I haven't acknowledged you at all.
Oh, yeah.
For just our audio listeners, Grogu's been with us here the whole time. Flip over to YouTube real quick if you want to see him, but he's been there. I'm sorry, Grogu. What's up, bruh? I'm glad someone came and got you, which I won't spoil, but I feel like we're definitely in. If you don't know by now, you weren't gonna know. But
yeah.
So what are we going to get in 2021? Are we going to get an upgrade to the Switch, a Switch Pro, some type of half step, or is Nintendo going to shock us all and bring something new to the table? Let's call it like, something to be more on par with the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S and that whole family.
Man, I don't know. Part of me is like maybe, because there is, they've always updated their handhelds. There's still 20 years later debate over whether the Game Boy Color is an upgraded Game Boy or the next generation of handheld. Does it go from Game Boy to Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Color is like a weird little half step, or is it the whole step? DSi, DS Lite, new 3DS. Like, they have done this. Are they gonna do it with this? I don't know, man. And anyone who thinks they do, they don't know. They're just guessing. We're all just guessing, because Nintendo knows, and they're not telling. They're never gonna tell. They have never told. Would I like it? No, since I just bought my Switch this year.
What?
I wanted to buy another one next year.
Just this year?
Yeah, I bought it on May 13th. The Animal Crossing Switch. I've got it.
Okay.
I've got it right here.
Oh man, so you've just been experiencing the magic all for the first time, I see.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's so cool. Nice. I got it. It was the last thing I bought before I went into quarantine, actually.
Oh man.
And because of that, I didn't really play it that much. Not until I started riding the train again. Which, like, I still, really shouldn't be, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And wear a mask, everybody. You all know what to do. You know how to protect yourselves and protect others. But I hardly ever play the Switch docked, but I do sometimes. But for the most part, like, I treat it like a handheld system.
I know I'm in the minority of this, but I play my Switch probably 80% docked, 20% handheld. I'm one of those people. Like, I was actually surprised when I found out most people play it not docked. I was like, really?
Is it most? Like,
Well, let me correct. Last time I checked those statistics, which I have not checked in 2020, but like 2019, I remember they came out with, like, the enough time had passed. They collected this data, however you collect data, and then the I don't know the exact number, but the census was that most people play undocked.
Huh. That's interesting. Like, well, it's such an adaptable little system. Like, you can't, and I have done it. You really shouldn't be bringing your PS3 or PS4 or Xbox, in your backpack to your friend's house. That's not good for your back. But depending on your lifestyle, like, if you drive to work, no, you're not. You shouldn't be playing Switch while you're driving to work. But if you ride the train or the bus to work, then yeah, hell yeah, why not? And it's, anyone can play Switch. A lot of people, like, don't want to sit down and play a video game, after work. Like, they'd rather watch TV, but they'll play video games, like, at work, at the waiting room, at the doctor's office, anywhere. And people who do it all, the Switch is there for them. Or whatever you're doing, Switch is there for you.
You can watch TV and play Switch.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't. I find that I'm always focusing on one or the other, so I never do that personally. Like, I like mute my notifications when I'm watching TV. I'm like, no, this is my TV time. But that's a whole other thing. Yeah.
Well,
it deserves your attention.
Well, speaking of TV time, you know what I do with my TV time?
What do you do with your TV time? Watching movies.
So yeah, watching movies. So I find this topic fascinating, video game movies, because they were at a point where they were just always hilariously bad.
Oh yeah,
like Tomb Raider was probably the first instance where maybe that wasn't the case, and even so, there can still be a case made that it was hilariously bad. But I think we can all agree it took itself serious. It wasn't a cash grab per se. And, and the fact that Angelina Jolie was the model for the video game character kind of helps it out too.
Was she?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it looks like her.
In which game?
Or am I just assuming that? I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, because she was played by like models. Well, I mean, she was the original design, and she was originally going to be Latina, but they changed it. She was going to be Lara Cruz.
Ooh,
But then
coming
they
with the
changed her to
facts.
British. But no, I believe it was for each game from 1 through 4, she was played in like live appearances and magazine stuff by a different model, including, and I believe this was the first one, Rona Mitra
Oh,
from Underworld 3 and Boston Legal. And we were just mentioning Skyline. She's basically the only person from that movie who I didn't get to interview, which is a shame, but everyone had nice things to say about her. And I'd love to interview her one day because she is, amazing and pretty.
well, look at you coming with the facts.
Oh
Well,
yeah, that's what I'm here for, baby.
yeah, and after Tomb Raider, we get plenty of video game movies that are not so great.
Yeah.
Just we got the Mario movie from the 90s. That was what, as a child without taste, I enjoyed it. I watched it again as an adult and was like, man, I was so easy to persuade as a child. Y'all
At
just
least
told me
it's
this was the
weird.
Mario. Huh?
At least it's weird.
They stab Yoshi in the neck.
And, Dennis Hopper in like a mud bath. It's a weird movie, man. It's
It's
weird. Like
a
it has nothing, zero to do with Mario, but it is so weird.
and we got awesome other movies like okay, okay, I was about to say Pixels, but like, is Pixels a video game movie or a movie that has video games in it?
I think that in order to be quote unquote a video game movie, it needs to be a work of fiction directly based on the world or events of a video game.
Okay, we won't clown Pixels, but the point is, it was supposed to be like a movie for gamers, and it was highly insulting. That's how they marketed
Yeah.
it, I remember, and I was like, "Who do you think we are?"
Yeah, not beloved. Not a beloved work.
Yeah, point is, I'm not gonna list all the trash video game movies here. Point is, they're almost unanimously all trash.
Man, Adam Sandler made a movie that was critically bashed. Who would have thought? Man, that's how they get you.
Yeah, but we are now moving into a interesting space where that is, I won't say no longer true, but at least people are trying. People are like, hey, let's actually play the game, get in the game world, at least get someone who knows what's going on, and let's make a good movie. And right, the last thing I did before quarantine was to go see Sonic the Hedgehog, which was not an insult. And I'm a big Sonic guy. Like, I love Sonic. If you're watching, you can see this poster above my head of Sonic Spinball. And I genuinely love Sonic. Like, if I was a tattoo person, I'll probably have some type of Sonic thing tattooed on me. And I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. And I was like, wow, that we can do it. We can do it. It is not impossible. And because I was ready for it to be a trash fire. I'm talking about Resident Evil 3 type of trash fire. Don't even ask me why I saw Resident Evil 3. I don't know if it's Resurgence, Reloaded. I don't know what they're called. They have
Extinction. As
Extinction.
a Resident Evil film scholar, Resident Evil Apocalypse, Extinction, Afterlife, the best one. Retribution, the worst one. And the final chapter, also the worst one. But yeah, this could be an entire podcast just on Resident Evil movies, but that's a whole other thing. But how was Sonic the Hedgehog? Because I didn't see it, even though I was in based on the fact that it's a Jim Carrey movie. So they were like, "Yeah, James Marsden and Sonic." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." Jim Carrey in like a kind of family friendly, like just adventure comedy. Like, yeah, let's go. That's what I'm paying for.
I haven't enjoyed Jim Carrey that much since probably The Mask.
One of the greats. One of the all-time greats.
Yes. Like the next greatest Jim Carrey would probably be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, but that's not really a comedy, so I don't really count that.
Yeah.
But
there are two Jim Carreys.
but
They
no,
meet in Man on the Moon.
yeah. So I thoroughly enjoyed him. You know, there were some things I didn't like from Sonic, but it was mostly positive. Let me be like this: I would buy the DVD without remorse. Like I would spend physical money to go out to own that movie. If I had to be hypercritical of it, it's at bare minimum in my mind like a 7.
Wow.
If I'm going off just how much I enjoyed the movie, it could easily go up to a 9.
Okay. I mean, I'm in. I'm gonna have to check it out. I mean, I interviewed Ben Schwartz ostensibly for that, but also for another movie he did with Billy Crystal called Standing Up, Falling Down, which I did see, which was really, really good. It was like an indie set in Long Beach, which is like right across from where I live in Far Rockaway. But yeah, I interviewed him, and I also way before had interviewed Roger Craig Smith, and who's like the voice of Sonic in video games and in Wreck-It Ralph, the Wreck-It Ralph movies. And I kind of wanted to be like, hey, you know, do you want to like beat the shit out of Ben Schwartz for stealing your role? And he's like, nah, man, it was cool.
You know,
I know how the game was played.
They both stole it from Jaleel White, which should have been the number one choice for that movie. But I digress. I'm not here for that argument because I could spend 3 podcasts and a half talking about why he was robbed and it should have been. And you know, honestly, I kid you not. Given how much I enjoyed that movie, if Jaleel White returned to Sonic, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. It would be one of those movies that I know is probably not 10 out of 10, but I will defend it like it is.
Okay.
So Zach,
I've never seen any of those cartoons, or was he in cartoons?
Yeah,
or was
he was pretty much 90s Sonic. It was all him. Sonic Underground, Sonic and Tails, The Adventures of Sonic. I
was a Crash guy. That's my Sonic knowledge is very lacking.
No wonder you didn't see. I think you enjoy. I'm curious to see, as the movie buff that you are, what you think. But we're not talking about movies that have already come and gone. We're talking about the future of video game movies. And, you know, because they now seem to want to be taken quite serious. And even in the TV space, because, you know, we're getting the Last of Us TV series from HBO, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
Which is happening. And there's this interesting thing about, one, are these movies going to live up to the hype? And I'm not saying like they need to be 10 out of 10, but will they be solid productions where people of the game universe can enjoy it and people who haven't can enjoy it? And B, are they going to happen? Because another thing curious I'm about video game movies, they never seem to come full circle to completion for some reason. I'm not sure why. Like, I feel like every video game under the sun was supposed to have a movie at this point. And, you know.
Yeah, Kane Lynch with Bruce Willis and Jamie Foxx. Where's that?
Man. Yeah, where's that?
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Metal Gear Solid movie, which people keep telling me is not happening, to stop being excited about.
I'm excited.
You know, because Metal Gear is one of those things you can do just about anything and have it still kind of be canon.
Yeah.
Like you could just go left field with it, and I'm there for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm there for. I would say I was about to say I'm there for anything in Metal Gear, but I have not played Metal Gear Survive.
Oh no. You know, I'm sorry. Like, this may sound silly, people, but when I was like, Kojima had no input of this, pass. Because in my mind, that's not even Metal Gear at that point.
And it's not even that he had no input, because there have been Metal Gear projects that like he was hands off on, like Metal Gear Acid or Metal Gear Ghost Babel on Game Boy, and Metal Gear Rising, which but at least he was there to be like to just give the thumbs up. He was there to at the very least give a thumbs up. It's like, all right, I'm in. Let's go. He said it's okay. Papa said we can go. Papa said we can go play as long as we're back home before dark. But with Survive, it was just like, oh no, these guys came into our house and killed Papa, and now they live in our house.
Oh wow, we got dark there.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you before we get deeper in this topic. So I haven't seen Monster Hunter. I was about to say Rise, that's the actual game, but I haven't seen Monster Hunter, and you have. So how was that?
Okay, so I need to preface this by saying 2 things that are very important.
Okay.
One, is I am a fan of the films of Paul W.S. Anderson. You said Tomb Raider was the first one, the first good one. Mortal Kombat was the first good one. 1995. Rated PG-13. Lyndon Ashby as Johnny Cage. Robin Shaw as Liu Kang. Christopher Lambert as the Thunder God Raiden. 10 out of 10.
Sir, I want to stop you there because if we're going by that logic, Street Fighter was
Oh God!
It was a Tuesday. If you don't get that reference, you're probably too young for this podcast. I'm sorry.
Yeah, not a Street Fighter movie fan, but the Mortal Kombat movie was a childhood favorite, and having watched it like a couple of years ago, I got the Blu-ray, showed it to my teenage nephew. Cousin, whatever. We're Latino, so everyone's a nephew or a cousin,
a family member.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't even care if he likes it. I'm having a great time. This movie holds up. I don't care. So I'm a fan of his movies. Resident Evil, yeah, let's go. On most of them, on like half of them.
Maybe one of them.
One. I like 3 and 4 is my favorite. 5 is gutter trash. 6 is not much better. Whatever. I like his movies. And the other thing is, I've hardly ever played any Monster Hunter games ever. I played a little bit of one of them on the Wii.
I'm shaming you.
Never touched Monster Hunter World.
Shame.
I had zero interest. So it was just like, nah.
Not
skip.
For me.
Yeah, just not for me. Nothing personal. It looks cool. It looks like something I could lose myself in. But then, and to an extent now, I'm kind of more into games that I can play and finish and not like come back for weekly hunts. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. No, thank you.
That's fair.
And so with those two things in mind, I had a great time with Monster Hunter. I was surprised at how scary it was. Like, can we do spoilers a little bit? What's the spoiler limitation we have here?
All right. People listening, we have Monster Hunter movie possible spoilers.
It's worse for the first half hour of the movie.
All right, skip ahead. I don't know how long is it gonna take. About 30 seconds. We're calling it 30 seconds. Skip ahead 30 seconds.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, go.
Ready? First half hour of this movie, everybody dies. Everybody dies in the first half hour of this movie. Like they have like a little tiny prologue, not very good, and then it's like a bunch of army people. It's like Mila Jovovich and some other people and T.I. and they're like, oh my god, I'm stuck with these buttheads for this whole movie. No, they all die except for Mila Jovovich.
Oh damn!
And so I was like, oh, it's gonna be like a dwindling squad, and they're gonna be no first half hour, all of them die horribly.
Oh.
Like as hard PG-13 deaths. And it's like a mix of like there's a little bit of Tremors, there's a little bit of Alien, there's some Aliens, there's some other horror movies, a little Pitch Black going on, and it's just Paul W.S. Anderson for half an hour going apeshit on his entire cast. And then the movie starts.
And then we just got the main character lady just doing her thing.
Yeah, and it's her and Tony Jaa for the next like 40 minutes. And then there's like still 30 minutes left in the movie, which is kind of a problem. So it's a film of 3 acts. The first act is super unexpected. The second act is pretty fun. And the third act is kind of like, all right, if we leave now, we can beat the traffic. But overall, I had a good time. I didn't think it was like a masterpiece or even particularly good. But
would you say it was a step in the right direction for video game movies?
No.
Oh.
No, I don't think it was, but I do still recommend it just to anyone who wants like a movie to put on a Friday. A movie to like hang out with your friends. Like you're not paying super attention, but you're not talking through the whole thing. But you're just kind of like, let's have a couple of six packs, pizza, let's watch some surprisingly grisly kills. Like, I don't think that Monster Hunter is supposed to be that scary, but the movie is pretty scary. And then it becomes like an adventure, and it's always derivative. It's never like there's nothing original in this movie, but I still had a good time.
All right.
Sue me.
All right. So, sir, based off who he knows working on the project, and because they could change. So far, I'm gonna list off all the movies that's probably gonna happen. So we have Uncharted. How do you feel about our good boy Tom Holland as Nathan Drake and the production behind that?
I'm excited. Right. Well, this one is a lock because they already finished shooting.
Oh man, it's a
I'm
wrap. I
excited.
didn't even know they wrapped up.
Oh yeah. At least they still got a ton of work to do. But Tom Holland, yes. I think Marky Mark is playing Sully, and I'm a no on that. I'm a big hard no.
He refused to grow a mustache. Damn it.
And I actually kind of like Marky Mark in a lot of movies. And I've interviewed him once. I interviewed him in person, and he was very personal. I was actually kind of nervous because he has a little bit of a reputation in Hollywood.
Is he a jerk?
Well, that's the rep. But he was like super cool and nice and personable and affable and had great stories and just seemed like a regular chill dude.
All right, Marky Mark, not a jerk.
Yeah, Marky Mark, surprisingly not a jerk. I hope no publicists are listening to this. But my one and only choice for Victor Sullivan was and is and always will be Don Johnson.
Really?
Yeah, Don Johnson 100% as Victor Sullivan. Except no substitutes. This movie is never going to reach its full potential because of that.
That's fair.
But that's just my diehard opinion.
All right, next upcoming video game movie, Metal Gear.
Okay, I've got another story for this one. All
right, that's what you're here for.
Do you remember when Oscar Isaac said that he would like to play Solid Snake in a movie?
Yes, that was an interview, I think, for one of the it was a Star Wars interview, right?
No. It was not. It was for Triple Frontier.
Oh, okay.
It's a cool Netflix movie that I strongly recommend. I liked it very much. It's him, Ben Affleck, Charlie Hunnam, Garrett Hedlund, and Pedro Pascal. And I interviewed all of them for that.
Oh.
And then afterwards they did a roundtable. And during the roundtable, which was after.
Wait, so you were in the room where it happened?
I was not in the room where it happened.
Oh.
Well, I was in the room, but not when it happened. I left. I left after my interview.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Mine were what. I don't do roundtables. It's me. It's one-on-one, baby.
Oh, excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
I'm being sassy. But so during the roundtables, that's when he says, I think it's something like they ask him, what would you like to do a video game movie? And he's like, yeah, I would love to play Solid Snake in Metal Gear. Before that, I asked him about his extremely tight pants during that movie because he has a scene where he runs up a flight of stairs chasing a woman and he's wearing the tightest jeans that I've ever seen a man wear. And he goes, well, I had to wear these super tight jeans because did you see her, the girl who I was chasing? She was like, oh, and Ben Affleck is just like, oh my God, what is happening? What is happening? Please stop. Please ask a different question. I don't like this at all. I have no comment on this. And then I'm like, okay. I just wanted to talk about your butt for a minute, Oscar. And so some journalists ask about, whether or not he's going to be Solid Snake in a movie. I ask about that, Tish.
Got you. The important stuff makes sense.
Exactly. Makes sense. So I feel like I was there when history happened, asking about butts. I know what the Screen Rant viewer is into, but no, that movie, it's going to happen. It's got to happen. And if it doesn't happen, it shouldn't happen. But I think it's going to happen. I think there's enough goodwill between Kojima's stamp of approval, between, Jordan Vogt Roberts being in Death Stranding, that, I think that is a show of faith. Do I think that this could implode before cameras start rolling? Yeah, I could see if the script is like really far out, and I hope that it is far out.
It's Metal Gear. It has to be. Mm-hmm. This is like we said earlier, this is one of the few chances where you can just be super abstract and just real, off the rails, and it still be, acceptable in the universe.
Exactly, but I could also see a studio like Legendary. I think Legendary is the studio. I might be wrong. I'm not sure. going, can you make it more like Splinter Cell?
Oh man, that I would. Sam Fisher would be such an easy take in the movie sphere. Like it's like it's already been done. Just do that, but call the guy Sam Fisher, and that's Splinter Cell.
Yeah, and I
Literally
can
to make
see
a Splinter Cell movie, make a Mission Impossible movie, and change the names.
Yeah, they asked. I mean, they had optioned that. There was a Splinter Cell movie in the works with Tom Hardy, but that fell through like everything else does.
I could not see Tom Hardy as Sam Fisher.
I can't see Tom Hardy as anything. Well, no, he was great in Capone. I give Tom Hardy shit. I give Tom Hardy bleep. I don't know if we're allowed to curse on this. But no, Capone was one of my favorite movies of 2020, and he was great in that. So I will go easy on you, Tom Hardy.
All right, a simple one before we get into the real hard one. Okay. HBO's The Last of Us, which I'm not looking forward to be honest. I don't, because The Last of Us is so cinematic as is. All you have to do is just reshoot the video game, but they're not going to do that. And since they're not, I just think it's going to be bad.
I think The Last of Us has potential because I think the future of video game movies, I was very specific with my definition, which was something that adapts or is set in the world of a video game, not necessarily adapting the events. So one of my favorite examples of this, even though it's not one of my favorite video game movies at all, is Assassin's Creed, which is canon to the games, but it is not based directly on any of the games. It is another Assassin's Creed story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that like a Metal Gear movie could, it won't be because it's, I don't think that they will go that way, but they could, because there's such a huge world in Metal Gear that they could, do a story that didn't involve Solid Snake or Raiden or even the boss or any of those characters and still have it be a Metal Gear Solid movie. And I think that might be the best way to do The Last of Us. Like, are you going to do, name any moment, any cinematic moment from The Last of Us and be like, how are you going to make that better for TV? I think the best way to do it is to like tell another story that maybe is set in between 1 and 2. And so you can get, untold stories featuring Joel and Ellie as like, passive supporting players rather than the main driving force. Something that is canon to the games, but not a direct adaptation of them. Because like when you're adapting, like that's kind of the problem is we know how it's going to end. Like we played the game, we know exactly what's going to happen. So that's why even like remakes, stuff like Final Fantasy VII Remake is like, well, let's make it so that you don't know. Let's mix it up. Let's readapt, reimagine, but the Assassin's Creed, Last of Us, potentially, take this whole big universe and look for a corner that hasn't been explored yet. I think that is the way to do it.
All right, man, you sold me on that, man. I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was just like, "This is just gonna be another zombie thing." There's just this. It's like The Walking Dead. It's not even The Walking Dead anymore. It's just another zombie thing. Like honestly, they should just probably remove The Walking Dead name for that. Just call it a zombie thing because it's so far gone at that point. But anyway, they have three, I think, spinoff series at this point, which I think is ridiculous.
I stopped watching The Walking Dead after like the third time they went into a town and were like, I think we can make a life here. And then one episode later, they're like, oh no, everything is bad. Looks like we're going to have to go somewhere else. I think we can make a life here. just repeat that 100 times and you got the show.
Yeah, but no, isn't that crazy how it spun its own spinoff series and a talk show, The Talking Dead? I'm just like, this show is not that good to be doing this, but yet who is funding this?
Oh, the people who watch it. It was a smash ratings hit at a time when TV needed smash ratings hit. And it was the right show at the right time. It was violent. It was zombies. They like cross demographics. It was something that like old people brought young people to watch, and young people brought old people to watch. Boys and girls watched it. It was really hot. And it's still like, even limping its way to the finish line, still has much better ratings than a
Pun
lot of other
intended.
shows. Yeah.
But all right, so this last one is a doozy, because I know you're a big fan of this series, and it's one of the more recently announced movies, but the Hitman movie.
Wait, they're doing another one?
No, wait, are they? Wait, no, they just announced the new game. Anyway, no, I was actually confused on the Hitman movie. They're not doing another one.
Oh, they're not doing another Hitman movie. Okay.
Yeah, they're making the new Hitman game.
Yeah. Okay. So Hitman. Okay, here's my hot take. I got a hot take for you.
All right.
Hitman Agent 47, the second Hitman movie. Not the one with Timothy Olyphant, but the one with Rupert Friend. One of the best action movies of the 21st century.
Really?
Yes. Second unit directors, Chad and Dave, the John Wick guys. The action in that movie is 10 out of 10 because it's directed by the freaking John Wick guys. That movie...
I do enjoy John Wick.
Yeah. Have you seen Hitman Agent 47?
Of course, I haven't.
10 out of 10 action. 10 out of 10 action. Almost nothing to do with Hitman. Hitman is like stealth and being quiet. And yet the guy in like all the pictures has like dual pistols. So it's like, oh, like... Here's a game with dual pistols that you're never going to want to use because then you'll get the worst rating. So Hitman is flawed as a concept, but that's a whole other thing. But the movie just takes that and runs with it. And there's a cool scene where like he does sneak around and he's in a different costume every time. Like every time they cut back to him, he's wearing different clothes because he's snuck into a deeper inner part of the facility. And then, inevitably, all hell breaks loose. Dual pistols come out. Just shooting people, they fall off of ledges and just oh my god, it's so good. It's a fantastic movie. I love it so much. And the single greatest behind the scenes story of my career.
All right, hit me with
all right, this is story time. This should get its own timestamp.
All right.
We're
at 52 minutes.
Okay. I went to the not the premiere, but a press junket where they showed the movie, and we had hands-on. No, it was hands-off playtime with the then upcoming Hitman reboot game, and there was a roundtable like Q&A, audience participation among an audience of critics and outlet people with the director and many cast members from the film, including Zachary Quinto, best known for being Spock in the Star Trek movies and Heroes and that new show Nosferatu, I think it's called. And so
is that
A-Man, AMC, I think.
Oh, okay.
And it's like weird because it's got like numbers are like taking the place of letters in the title, so it's like a weird thing to SEO to search, But it's like NOS 4 or something. I don't remember.
You're not cool unless you use 3s as E's.
Yeah, exactly. But a man who will go unnamed from an outlet that will go unnamed.
Oh.
He made history in that room by asking the single worst and most offensive question that I have ever heard anyone ask. And he asked Zachary Quinto, a gay man, about playing a gay hitman. Because if he's gay, that has to inform every single character he plays. So in so many words, he asked him about playing a gay hitman because he's gay. And Zachary Quinto, like everyone was like dead silent. And like me and my brother, who I brought as my +1, were just like, did he just ask that? And like we could see people being like, oh boy, this is going to get so uncomfortable. and Zachary Quinto tore this guy a new asshole, man.
Oh my!
He
I
was
have to
just
believe
like
that one.
he was just like he was just like, I'm sorry, but what kind of question is that? Do you think that a gay man can only play gay characters? Have you never seen a straight actor play a gay character in a movie before? It's like an incredibly offensive question, and I can't believe that you have gotten to this stage in your career asking questions like that. Like, I honestly don't know what to say to you, because you are just awful. You're an awful human being.
Oh man!
And so then, there's just silence, and the moderator's like, anybody else have any questions? And so someone asks someone else a question, and that person answers the question, and then Zachary Quinto goes, yeah, but I gotta get back to this guy. I gotta get back to this guy. Seriously, who do you think you are? Like, how could you be at a place like this and ask a question so tone deaf, so dumb, so like it honestly baffles and offends me and makes me feel like we haven't made as much progress as we think we have as a society.
Oh man,
And
that's always the worst.
like people applauded him, and like the guy was just, he was tiny. He was 3 inches tall, sitting in his little chair. Because I've never seen a man kill another man with words like that before.
Oof.
And for the record, his character is not gay just because Zachary Quinto is gay. And the movie is awesome, and he has like some kick-ass fights with Rupert Friend. You gotta see it, man. You gotta see it. Hitman Agent 47. Like, if I had to be objective and practical, whatever, like my reviewer hat, 6.75 out of 10. But as far as me watching that movie, anytime, anywhere, 9 out of 10.
All right. Well,
anytime, anywhere, let's go.
Since you wanted to give that movie such high praise, I gotta talk about how great Street Fighter Legends of Chun-Li is.
I interviewed the director of that.
For the record, I don't think it's great. I just thought it was hella confusing. There was a lot of scenes in that movie where I didn't know what was going on. Like when she has like that dance scene with that other chick for like 15 minutes of the movie, and I'm like, what?
It's a weird movie.
That movie doesn't know what it is for half the time.
And Chris Klein doesn't know where he is half the time. Chris Klein, who plays like the detective, like, I like Chris Klein. I've never interviewed him. I think that he's a good actor. But I don't think, or maybe it's a case of I think I like him, but I don't think he's a good actor at all. He wasn't that good in The Flash, where he played Cicada. And this movie, his first scene is him climbing out of a car. I've seen this movie once, by the way. I've seen Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li once on cable. And I have seared into my mind the image of him getting out of his car, looking cool, doing like a model pose with like the pouty lips and going, I love this job. And I'm like, this is the best movie I've ever seen. It's awful.
All right. I gotta cut this topic short because we still got other stuff to talk about. But I will say this real quick for the record. Pokemon Detective Pikachu, cool Pokemon world, horrible movie. If you like it, you love horrible acting. You just enjoy that. Because I'm sorry, the acting in that movie was so trash that all the positives I could have of this realized Pokemon world that was believable was killed by that.
I think the first 20 minutes of that movie showed you everything that movie had to show.
It did. And the cool Ditto twist was kind of cool. Like I saw it coming. Like, it gets to the point where like it wasn't obvious, but then they made it so obvious that it was Ditto. It was just like, why didn't you just reveal this like when it wasn't as obvious like 30 minutes ago? Like you waited to you did they did the thing of like, and guess it is Ditto. Like it's Ditto. Like you have fisted it so hard at this point that I don't think we even had to acknowledge it was Ditto. It should have just been Ditto, and we're like, yeah, we knew we didn't have to stop the movie for that.
Well, Ditto's got that Batman problem where anytime someone shows up and they're weird, you're like, oh, it's Clayface. It's always Clayface. It's always Ditto.
Yeah. Like, again, if they were to revealed it was Ditto maybe like 30, 45 minutes at the most earlier than what they did, it would have been a shocking surprise. It legit. Like, there's a point in the movie where I'm like, oh, it's Ditto. They're about to reveal it. Oh, you didn't. You waited till it was no longer cool. Anyway, like you said, we're moving on. Real quick, in case you didn't know, there was a company called Super 5 who spells their names SU3ER5. We just talked about that. Full circle. Anyway, Super 5 was coming out with these, I must admit, really cool PS5s that they custom modded to like a PS2. Dope. Super dope. Look it up.
They did look cool.
They look super cool. And the crazy thing about it was they actually acquired PS5s and did this. Like, they bought one, or and then they modded it, spray painted it, however they did it. And I was like, oh, that's really commitment. And then these things went on sale earlier this week, and it was a debacle, like getting a real PS5. Such a debacle, like with taking their payments and then not getting their payments back, that people started to threaten the lives of this staff, and now they're just refunding the whole thing. And it's funny because if y'all remember, there was a company founded that was going to sell PS5 custom plates. They had a name like PS5 plates or something, and then Sony gave them the good old Nintendo cease and desist, which was sad because they looked really cool. They basically just they just sent you plates. Like, you didn't have to do anything. They just 3D printed the whatever white casing. I don't know if that's the correct name. I'm just calling it the PS5 plate. And they basically, you just bought it, they mailed it to you, you clipped it off and clipped these on, and then Sony was like, nah, fam. And then
and like the PS5 plate itself is not like a custom like part of the hardware. It's not like
you literally can like peel it off.
Piece. Right. Like, and you have to access the hard drive and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
it's meant to be removed and put back on several times.
Mm-hmm.
And PlayStation has claimed they're not making custom plates. Like, they're not going to do like a color series. They themselves have said that. That could be a lie, or they can change their minds. So I'm just like, okay, well, Sony was going to do it. Of course they're going to make these people stop. But no, these guys didn't have to stop because of Sony, which I'm surprised they didn't. I think the only reason they didn't stop because Sony was like, you already bought the product, and what you do with it after you buy the product is on you, not us. That's my only wiggle room, I guess, legally. But so PS5 custom plates are just not meant to be a thing because whoever keeps trying, they keep dying in horribly just fireball ways. Like, okay, I have nothing against Super 5. I don't know if that's how you say your name when you put letters in there and numbers. I'm not sure. I have nothing against y'all. It looks dope. But yeah, man, maybe y'all should have been a little bit more prepared. And people, I don't know what it is with the internet nowadays, but stop sending people death threats. You do not know them. Like that is scary for some people. Like, if you sent me a death threat, you're going to get something back. And I'm going to be like, bro, find me. I will beat yo blankety blank in the streets.
Yeah. And
not everyone's going to respond like that.
If you send me a death threat, I will go, yo, find Odell. He's going to beat you up in the street. I mean, look, this whole culture of video game people, the people who play video games, the gamers with a capital G and a superscript TM after the word, they suck because they don't have names. They have names like Ninja and PewDiePie and like Star Killer 69 or whatever,
Dark Angel _87.
Exactly. Is that a real thing?
No, that's my generic. Anytime we bring up gamers, like, I always call out Dark Angel _87 as like the premier like offender.
But they're not real people. Like, they don't think that they have to operate under the rules of real people because, like, oh, they don't have real names. That's my handle. I'm a hacker elite, like the movie. I'm a cyberpunk, man. Like, no, you're not. You're stealing Wi-Fi from your neighbor, and you have to follow basic human decency and common sense, and don't be a dick, or else this art form that we enjoy is never going to reach the status of anything else. Like, it took, there's exceptions. Like, I guess hip hop people have funny names. Like, we got like 2 Chainz and stuff. Like, they all get to have funny names. But like, and I guess we've got like, Madonna and Cher and Bono and Sting, but it's not
You're not musicians is what Zach is trying to say, apparently.
Yeah, musicians are allowed to have funny names. I think, and Madonna is her actual name. So Madonna gets a pass. And she's Madonna. She's the queen of all that is good and holy in this world. So she gets a pass.
Yeah, it's like Beyonce. It's like, sometimes you forget that's just her actual name.
Yeah. Yeah. So some people are allowed. But video game people, nah. You gotta get a more developed skill. Like, I know video games super serious, esports super serious. Yes, legit, real, awesome. But nah, dude.
Yeah. Nah. And I want to say Sony real quick, because there's violence in our video game streets that can be really easily resolved if you just tell us you will make plates at some point.
Make official plates.
Like, although you don't even have to do it, just lie to us and say they'll come eventually.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's my real, like, locked and loaded hot take is, like, I don't think Sony should do that yet. Until everyone who wants one gets a friggin' PS5.
Okay. That's fair. Like I said, they don't have to do it. They can just say that it's a thing that's coming. In the same way where Nintendo should sell like docks. Sell us the docks, Nintendo. My God. Like, I think Joy-Con colors are cool. Like, I have a few, I didn't get too crazy. I wasn't like, I need every color combination, because that's at $50 a pop, that is not feasible.
Yeah.
But boy, oh howdy, I swear to you, I would have a dock in my living room, a dock at my computer that I am right now, a dock, like, think of the possibilities of having multiple docks. Like, I got my Pikachu Eevee dock, got my Animal Crossing dock, got my Smash Bros dock. It's like, think how powerful the Switch has become. It's like, I'm playing it, and I can just dock it to my PC, dock it to my TV. Hey, you got one of those cool houses with a TV in the kitchen, dock it there. Dock it in the TV in the bathroom. Actually, don't do that. That's probably an electrocution hazard.
TV in the shower. You don't have a shower TV?
Nah, man.
You don't have a shower TV?
I'm kind of broke.
Yeah.
Dock it in the garage. Bro, Nintendo, sell us docks. PlayStation, sell us customizable plates. Y'all get super rich. Like, I don't know what the over under is to make that things, but it can't be a lot. Nintendo, yours is literally a piece of plastic with a sticker on it. And Sony, yours is too.
Yeah, but you're not thinking about the capital G gamers with the superscript TM after the word gamers. Because they're going to go, oh, you're making docks that we can buy, but you're not making PS5s? Why don't you take those people making the docks and have them make PS5s, as though that's the same thing? It's one of those, why are you remastering this game when you could be making this game instead? It's like, no, it doesn't. Development doesn't work that way. We've got plenty of people doing everything. All right, chill.
Well, to those people, already got a PS5. It's not my fault you don't got one. I ain't about to suffer because of you. Actually, that was mean to say. I hope you get it.
Yeah, I hope I get one.
Unless you're one of those people sending death threats, no docks, no plates, no PS5 for y'all. Forget you and your TM strips, and I will beat your blankety blank in the streets.
No plates, no peace. But, well, so I'm not 100% sure that I got it, but I did just buy my PS5. I bought a PS5 bundle at an outlet that will go unnamed online. I mean, it was one of the big ones. It was one of the real ones.
GameSpot, I guess. I mean, they were the only ones selling bundles that I know of.
Oh, then yes. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm promoting or not promoting.
Nah. I mean, they can get their free advertisement here.
Yeah. But it's not really, because they were like, oh, you got to buy the bundle with the extra controller, the game that your brother, who already has the PS5, already bought digitally, and a physical copy of a game that you can't, that you're gonna have to buy digitally so that he can play it. So have fun spending more money than you want on this thing. Here you go. And apparently I'm supposed to get it in like early February.
I was this close to buying a bundle because I was like, screw it. I'll buy this $800 bundle because no one's going to be stupid enough to buy that except me. And it was like sold out. I'm like, really? So y'all got money now? That gamers got money like that? Okay, whatever,
Well, also sometimes I get games to review and they send them like on disc. Like I reviewed Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, my game of the year for 2020, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. We are a Tony Hawk house. I thought I was so good. The super tiny Tony Hawk game, I thought it was so amazing when I got like a 4 million point combo. My brother, Jason the Wojnar, 22 million. 22 million points.
Jeez.
One combo. I can't compete with that.
I mean,
I have no chance.
I mean, I feel you on that, man. I feel you. But, that's all the time we had this week. Zach, I really want to thank you for joining me because we got in the weeds there and I loved every second of it. And right before we go, real quick, where can people find you? Where can they catch up with you? Where can they see your material?
You can read my work at screenrant.com. You can also read if you see a Wonder Woman Centennial magazine that's still on any shelves, you can pick that up for I think $12. And my byline's in there, and that's really cool. You can find me at Twitter on Twitter at my name, Zak Wojnar, ZAK. It's in the description. And you can catch my stream. I stream now at Pop Culture Galaxy on Twitch.
Oh.
If it's not me, it's my buddy Mark Bridge, who is the computer savvy person who built my PC.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
I mean, I bought all the parts, but he put them together. I don't even know what kind of graphics card I have. He was just like, buy this one. You'll be able to play anything at 1080.
That's good to know. And as always, people, you know me. You can find me at Harmon Jr. on all your favorite social media. And follow the podcast at FC Podcast 23 on Instagram and Twitter. So, and if you really, 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 really like the show, I don't know why I said it like that, but it felt right. You can subscribe to the Patreon Full Circle Podcast at Patreon. I want to thank my backers, Ryan Frazier, Gabriel Garcia.
April.
Yeah. Gabriel Garcia.
Oh, Gabriel. Sorry, not April. Gabriel
Yes.
Garcia, 10 out of 10 human being.
Yes, he is.
I'm going to keep on ruining every single name.
Yeah.
Keep going.
All my Patreons, they're no longer getting shouted out because you just ruining it for them.
No, keep on going. I want to keep on going. It's part of the show.
But yeah, throw some money. Throw some money. If you don't have to, because you know what you can do? Like, share, subscribe for free. You can't do that. We own that iTunes, we own that Google's, we own that Spotify. Drop your boy a review. But that's cool, people. It's the show, season 4. Just getting started. So, Zach, I want to thank you for joining me again, for bringing heavenly, and I do mean heavily, movie insight to the show this week. And as always, people out there, have a great week and be blessed.
Gabriel Garcia, follow me on Twitter. I will follow you back. It's a promise.